everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of All Things Spice podcast. My name is Zanile and I am your host. Today, I have a special visitor. I have my flatmate joining me. Her name is Lindo. I'll introduce her in a bit more detail further on. But I just wanted to say, firstly, thank you for, tuning in. And for those who are, joining for the first time, welcome. For those that are joining, our regular listeners, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the encouragement. I really appreciate it. So if you did listen to my previous episode, I did say that there would be, something for someone who does, guess who the special guest who is on this episode is. And I haven't yet gotten, responses yet. So, I mean, I think it's fair to say that that is now lapsed, unfortunately. So maybe you listened and you didn't get to the end. But anyways, we can look out for the next prize that will come up. So as I said, I can't give out that information. Okay. Can't give out that information, but all I can say is that y'all missed out. Mm-hmm. So I have Lindo Guhle here with me on today's episode. So me and Lindo are flatmates. Apparently, actually, yesterday when I was remember I told you we went for lunch, team lunch. Someone was telling me that guys get they get defensive if you say, "Oh, who's your roommate or flatmate thing." So I'm like, I don't know. I interchange roommate, flatmate. But anyways, Linda is my flatmate, and it's been great. It's been great.
7 months?
Yeah, 7 months, right? 7 months, almost 8 months now. Yeah, and we basically moved together at the same time. It wasn't planned. But I would say, that was God's plan and his, sort of way of easing us into this big city. Yeah. And we worked together in Cape Town, and then I remember reaching out to her, and I remember having a conversation with her when we were just discussing, so what are the plans for next year? She was like, I don't know. And at that point, I had already gotten my offer, so I told her that I was still deciding, because at that point I hadn't decided yet. And then in the end, it just worked out that the visa process, was aligned.
You waited longer.
Yeah, actually, I waited longer. You applied for yours much later in the game, and I'd already applied for mine. But and then I was like, I had reached out to her and said, and because when I figured that she was also coming, or she was thinking of coming this side, I'd asked her if she was willing to share, because I was so worried about costs.
Yeah, but I think I had that conversation with you, kind of proposed the idea to you.
Oh yes, yeah, you're the one who actually initiated, who actually asked, would you be keen? And then I was like, yeah, and then sort of that's just how we ended up thinking of moving in together. And then the visa process. Oh yes, the visa process. As I already mentioned, I applied earlier than you, but then our visas sort of came out. I think they came out the same time.
The same week.
Yeah, and then flights just happened to be. I think you asked me. Yeah, I think you asked me about when have you booked your flights yet? Then I'd already booked mine. And then we just, and then we just happened to, I think you said you were also looking at around about the same time that I had booked. And then you just booked. Then, yeah, it just happened that we then flew in the same day. I arrived in the morning. She arrived a few more hours after me. So, yeah, well, interesting. But anyways, yeah, is there anything that I missed out on? Just like how we got here?
I guess for me, hi everyone. Is it listeners or spices or?
I don't know, fam.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Lindo, as Zanele has said. I think, well, after I crossed the borders, I kind of lost the last 5 letters of my name, so it's Lindo.
Yeah.
Because trying to just let people pronounce my full name is just will be another podcast.
I know.
I think everything just lined up. I think when I had spoken to you, I was doing my interviews, and you had already had your offer, and I was still on my interview. I'm like, what are they asking? How do I answer this question? And it turned out, and I kept asking you. We were so scared that it would be far apart because we didn't know where the offices were.
Yeah.
You didn't even know which office you were going to, because there's two offices.
Yeah.
And we're like using Google Maps to try and figure out how far apart the offices are. Where are we going to live? We only knew southwest at that time.
We were looking at all the apartments that we were looking at were like the south, right?
Yeah. Initially,
and then now we're at the opposite side.
Literally. So that's another conversation altogether. But I think like every time we tell the story, it's quite interesting, and we're like, yeah, we lived together and we came on the same day, and we're literally counting from the same day since we've been here. In terms of also work, you started a week earlier than me. I think that's about it, because just trying to find accommodation would be another conversation. That's just like, but I will say that we almost gave up on living together.
Yeah.
I think more on my side, I was like, I don't think we're gonna find anything. Because we had 2 weeks at the hotels, and we were trying our best to find a place, and you were working.
Yeah.
So,
but what is your plan going to be then?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, when people are like, they just took whatever. I think that was going to be me. Because we had also looked at the option of renting maybe for a month, and that was way too expensive.
Yeah, that was expensive. That was too much.
Looking at Airbnbs. And then we were like, I remember we had this conversation. I think we were traveling to another viewing or something. And I was like, I just felt God saying, you know, we are just driving.
Yeah.
And we're not even like praying about where we want to stay or the places that we're going to view and stuff. And we were so stressed.
Yeah.
We were so stressed. And I think more than anything, we were relying on our strengths.
Yeah. Hundreds.
Yeah.
And then this place came up. We are recording in, our flat. Our flat, which we, are trying to still furnish bit by bit. Because initially we were supposed to get a fully furnished flat, and then that didn't work out. So we ended up getting a place with just like the basics, like a fridge, washing machine, and what's the other thing? Like a stove, yeah. And then the rest we had to like obviously start like, trying to gather. And so we had a couple of trips.
It felt like we were in Midrand or Parkland.
Yeah, I didn't have a bed for like a week.
Oh no. gonna tell that story.
Oh my goodness. But anyways, that's a whole nother story.
No, I did not travel from Africa to sleep on the floor. That's what I said to Zanele. I'm like, nope.
She had a bed. She was set. She had a bed
But also by choice, because you couldn't decide what you wanted to do. You couldn't decide on a bed. I'm like, it's a bed. You're gonna sleep on the floor for a week.
Yep. Anyways, I slept on the floor for a week and I'm here. I survived. I didn't die, okay?
No, I didn't work this hard to come and sleep on the floor in London.
Wow. What did you say? Anyways, so yeah, that was our journey. But I must say as well, the one thing I was really appreciative of, I'm just replaying back what you're saying about how you said, you know, we were striving and all of that. I think the moment that you say that to me was also a significant moment to me, in that before I left to come here, I, you know, obviously was praying over this move and just saying, you know, Lord, the people that I'll meet, the people, if I'm sharing, the person that I'm going to share with, and all of that, you know, all the other aspects of just this move. And for me, it was a big thing that, you know, I was like, oh, wow, you know, the person that I'm potentially going to share with, she has a relationship with God. Like, she actually includes God in such things. That was like really something for me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, there
was just a peace that then came with that, like, okay, at least that aspect, you know, sort of really encouraging.
That's important, because we could have just, you know, people have stories about roommates and, you know, I think also just God orchestrated the whole thing, and every time it literally sounds like a broken record. Every time we tell someone, we're like, oh, we'll live together, and it just God just being in the way. But yeah, and we have playlists for days.
What do we listen to mostly?
Oh my word!
In this house,
what have we been listening to recently? Adonai.
Oh yeah, because of the worship night that we went to. Yeah, that was actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so what would you say, like, has been, or maybe a few things that you didn't expect, when you moved, or things that were pleasant surprises or not so pleasant surprises?
Oh, a lot of things. For me, you were the only person that I knew. Landing here, literally, you're the only person besides my mentor who organized a place for me to stay for the week. So, but even with that, I was by myself in his house. So I literally didn't know anyone. So I was surprised by the community that I found. Mostly at work and just church. People are so welcoming, and just London as a city is so diverse, and people are open. I don't know if you remember when we came here for the viewing, we took an Uber with two other strangers. Completely strangers. The two other people didn't know each other in the Uber, and there was a tube strike, and we were just trying to get home. So just being with different people, and people that are just open, that for me was quite surprising.
That's so true. Can I jump in there? That's so true. Like, I think people have this misconception that people in London, or I don't know, maybe people in big cities, like, they're just like, they don't want to talk to anyone. And, you know, of course we walk with purpose. Like, everyone is always walking so fast. It's actually quite quite crazy. But yeah, people on the tube, obviously, like the tube is actually quite quiet. You just do you on the tube, you're listening to music, whatever you're doing. But the truth is, if you actually just speak or have a conversation, like people are willing to have a chat, and people are willing to actually just like find out where you're from, because people are from everywhere in this place.
That's the most asked question. Where are you from?
Yeah, that's the first question. Oh, where are you from? Like, and you would just hear so many different places and areas. So yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. I think the other thing, obviously, it's completely different from South Africa. Completely different in terms of just public transport. I remember the first day we met, the Sunday, it was so easy, and I was so like a bit stressed out trying to get an oyster. I remember for you it was quite a process, because we got to the machines and they didn't have oyster cards, and for me, I literally went to the station. I didn't even realize that the were different machines, because I just pressed something, got my oyster, went in, and it's really easy, and the fact that everything is in English, oh my word, is a
makes
blessing.
it so much easier.
You can never get lost, honestly. Even if you get lost, you will reroute and find your way. I think those are the things that I've found really welcoming. Nothing like surprising, like oh my word, this is it just, the people are always surprising, and just to meet people from different places. And you have to be more interested than interesting.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, actually.
Yeah, because then you get to know people, and people like talking about themselves.
Wow. Okay. Do you miss your car? Or sometimes?
I do sometimes. Yeah.
I get you. I hear you.
But it's like I miss it, but then I wouldn't be able to drive it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, I miss it, but...
But yeah, no, actually, it's just easier to just get onto a train, to be honest.
No, actually,
Traffic.
this week, I wore heels to the office.
Why? Why would you do that? I mean, you could. Why didn't you put them in your bag?
Listen. I thought, it's boots, so I thought it's fine. That's when I thought about my car, because back home I'd literally come from my car, go up the stairs, and I could feel it. I regretted every moment of that.
Because also, oh, by the way, so we don't stay like right by the station. It's like probably almost just under a kilometer walk, right?
Yeah.
From our apartment. So yeah, you walked in your heels.
I walked. I missed my car. I was crying when I got home. I was crying.
Like, hey, my feet hurt.
But now I know. You need walking shoes. That's another thing. You need to. You walk everywhere.
Yeah, and a lot of people. Have you noticed? A lot of people here wear sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of people wear sneakers.
They will wear a full suit.
And I was like, yes, you guys are.
No, I didn't understand it.
My home.
I'm all for the drip. Like, if my outfit has a jacket, it needs to stay on. The jacket needs to stay on.
The whole thing.
Now, seeing people with like mixed matched shoes, it bothered me. But you know what? Comfort over drip.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of people use public transport. Even like the top people, they're in public transport because it's just so efficient. So
yeah.
Anyways, okay, cool. I think those are, you've literally touched probably what I would have said. But I want to add, like, the one thing that was quite uncomfortable for me at the beginning was just like walking into the shops and not knowing any of the brands. Like, I'm like, what milk? Which milk am I supposed to buy? The milk. I mean, everything. Even the chips were just, okay, they were Lay's.
Crisps.
Oh, yes. Right? They don't know what chips are. Yeah, they're like, huh? What are chips? Just go at their own young, situation with chips and crisps. Anyways. We won't go into that discussion. But yeah, it was that. And also like the like you just do everything for yourself here. If you think about it, in SA, you've got you have the people who are gonna show you where to park your car, like car guards. There's nothing here. You have, like, in the shops, you do your checkout. Sometimes I still freak out, like, have I scanned everything? I'm like, next thing, I'll walk out of the shop.
And they have your face there.
And then you're trying to explain, no, I'm new. I've only been here for a few months.
I have that all the time.
I also asked my friend from church, actually, the other time. I'm like, do you sometimes feel this way? Because she also, she moved like a year ago. And she's like, girl, I still feel that way. And it's been a year now. So anyways, you have yourself. But it's quite convenient, to be honest. You just, get in there, scan your things by yourself, get out, I really like... You don't have to speak to anyone. Yeah, you don't have to speak to anyone. Like, just do your own thing and just walk out. Yeah.
Airtime, plastic.
Hey, no, hey. So yeah, those are some of the things I can think of. But yeah, what else? What would you say to someone who is moving? So for me, I would say, for example, in as much as any big move has got its, like, you're obviously gonna think a lot about it, but I think I just thought too much deeply into it. I even remember the day that I was coming, but also that day was just a stressful day because my things from SA, all my clothes and stuff, the person was supposed to be sending them back home. He was just on his own little tangent, and my things literally arrived the same day that I was leaving. So I didn't have much, which is also a blessing in disguise, I must say. But yeah, like it just felt like such a stress. Like I was super stressed, but also at the same time I had this thing that I know, like God is in this move. So I think I probably stressed about so many things that didn't end up really being real. But that's just the thing with anxiety, right? We know that's how things are. So yeah.
We didn't mention that we moved with 3 suitcases.
Oh, both yes. Exact same number of suitcases. How crazy.
And when we came, I remember I had conversations with just people we met from work, and they were like, I'm going home in June. And we were both like, hey, maybe we don't love our families. We're going back home. Maybe next year. We don't even know which month. Maybe next year. And we're still here like, we'll go home.
That's not even bother like asking you a question like, are you feeling homesick?
No.
Like, yeah.
I think it's just one of those when, when God directs you and you are ready.
Yeah.
Like, even before I left, people would ask me, how are you feeling? Are you nervous? And I just had so much peace because I think also the time that we had spent not working and just and just reflecting and just knowing that this is God led. I didn't even know anything about London. But I was confident in the decision. I was confident when I arrived here. I never felt out of place or I don't belong. So when that move happened, it almost felt like you are just executing what is already predestined. You are just in stepping this trance. Just stepping into that. And yes, you're anxious, but which is the human nature, but you know that overall everything is just taken care of. I was having a conversation with someone and they were saying everything just made sense. It lined up. They would get discounts. We're talking about finances. they would just get discount. Someone would say, just come and live with me. Like someone said, they asked their friend who was in South Africa that I could live in their house for a week, and I had just met that person a week before I left. So things, things that are God led. You don't have to like just strive for yourself and just try to figure it out. Everything literally aligns the way that it should align.
Wow. Yeah, that's really amazing. That's super amazing. Because I aligned with what you're saying now. Before I left, I remember I had a dream, like sometime in June. I think it was June or July. That was the time, I think it must have been just after I'd gotten another different job offer and everything. And I remember I even wrote it down in my notes. It was a dream. I was on a flight. At this point, I hadn't yet gotten. I think I was in discussions with the recruiter, but I hadn't like started getting into it so much into detail. And I dreamt getting onto a flight, and I didn't know which country I was going to. But then I was just welcomed. Like I could just feel I was just welcomed with so much love and so much like warmth. And so that for me already was like, wherever I'm going, I just felt like already like God has already prepared that place. So yeah.
Funny you should mention flights, right? So my vision board last year, I don't know if I told you, I had a picture of an airplane.
Wow.
And at that time, obviously I did my vision board probably in December or Jan with Daniel Fast.
Yeah.
And I had this picture, and in my head, I'm thinking this year is a year of travel, which was 2021. I didn't travel. I don't think I was on an airplane in 2021. But I remember just towards the end of the year when I'm like praying about this and just God showing me this is the reason why I was showing you this.
Sure.
And sometimes like you won't get all the details.
Exactly.
You won't get all the details. Well, not even sometimes, all the time. You won't get all the details that this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. I remember reflecting and just also now being invested in praying about coming here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my word, this is the airplane in my vision board.
Wow, that's so amazing.
Yeah, like
that's
it was
so
crazy.
amazing.
Crazy stuff.
Love it. So what would you say to someone who's thinking of moving? Maybe they're thinking also of the financial, because I mean it's quite, I guess the initial outflow is like really crazy, and then obviously things start settling down. But what would you
and I mean, the firms will pay some money, but you have to spend money.
Yeah.
We had to buy furniture, which we didn't anticipate. We had to, we were fortunate enough not to pay like a deposit. Well, we did pay something. But it's a very difficult question. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I was scared to come on here. Because
like, I
that
don't
one question, I don't have, but I guess for me, I would say, I said to someone recently that asked me about the move and everything, I said the one thing that you'll have is community. If you want it, it's there. You'll find it. And it's community from people from South Africa, well, Africans in general, you'll find it because firms just recruit mostly from Africa, like Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. There's different people. I would advise someone to be part of something. If you don't go to church, be part of something. Because for us, it was easy because we go to church and we serve in church, so it makes it easier to build community
and have people around. That's so true.
But also like community, yes, that's a very important part because that's going to be your support system. I also think that just don't let work be the thing that moves you from home. Because if that's the thing, then you can work from home. You can work at home, or maybe in South Africa, wherever you are. But let it be something else. And for me, it was just opening something for my family. The opportunity presented itself. Now, my family, my siblings can say, I'm going to the UK because my sister's there. So that's the bigger picture for me. But for myself, it's just experiencing something different, being in a different city, we can different country altogether, and just the different quality of life. Because even though London is expensive, the quality of life is just it's a high standard quality of life. So, and not that to say that you can't have that back home. We want different things. So you just have to think, what is it that you want? Because you will get there and there will be people around you. You'll still feel lonely.
Yeah, that's so true.
You'll still feel lonely and you are going to hate your job. If you move for a job,
don't do it.
Don't do
it. Guys.
Don't do it. But I mean, even at work, you are going to just try to be involved in different things as well.
Yeah. That's so true.
Because that's where you're gonna spend your time. So make it work for you. So that would be my advice. First thing, find community. Go on LinkedIn, find the people that are there, that you in your firm that you can speak to. Find people, even if it's like a friend of a friend, reach out to them. They will probably be so keen to have coffee with you, to take you everywhere. I take everyone everywhere.
But anyways, Linda, this is you. Like, she is, I don't know, like, she's just got this thing that she easily, I don't know, like, she attracts people.
Everyone.
Yeah, she attracts everyone. Like, she's got, we were just talking about this, like, just ability to speak and influence and, I guess, make people feel comfortable in the space. I guess maybe that's probably it. That's what causes that. So for you, I think it's just easy to
but it wasn't
gain a
that
community.
I mean, I don't think it was something that I've always had or tapped into.
So is it intentional? Like, is it something that you have to do intentionally? You're like, I'm intentional about this.
I was intentional when I moved because I never want to feel like I want to go back home. Just, I'm feeling homesick.
See.
Because this is where I want to build my life.
Build. So you're like,
so
okay,
I was intentional that I need to, I need to love this place. But I mean, I think as you also grow older, you tap into aspects of your life that you didn't know, characteristics that you didn't know.
100%.
And the more you work on those and building relationships, skills or whatever skill, it matures with you as you grow older.
Awesome, that's really great. So we're like gonna be landing soon. I mean, there's so much we can talk about, and there's just so much more. Maybe we can have a version 2, at some point later. But this is just really a short, young intro. But before we go, like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, hopefully this little, game will. So I hadn't even prepped her for this, by the way. I just told her that we're going to have a conversation. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions about me or 3 or 4 that you must try guess, and I'll tell you if it's the correct answer, right? Okay, so not deep.
Okay.
It's not deep. First one, am I a morning or an afternoon or later kind of person?
Morning person. Oh.
Okay, that's correct. Do you know my favorite color?
No, we don't have those conversations.
I'm just saying.
Conversations.
We really do. Like this girl asked me the other day, how is your heart feeling?
How's your heart?
How's your heart doing, or how's your heart? And we ended up having a whole like two and a half
That
hours.
could be a segment.
Yeah, we should.
How's your heart?
How's your heart doing? Yeah, we'll consider doing that. But anyways, yeah, the truth is we do have those deep conversations. Here
But
and
you're on
there,
the
obviously.
questions.
But yeah, okay, yes, by the way. So my favorite color is green, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, if you didn't know. And then the last question, now I've actually forgotten what the last question
Wow.
is. Yeah, okay, those two questions suffice.
I got 50%. I mean,
You did well. You answered one out of the
I
two.
did.
Okay. Do you have any questions
No.
for me?
No.
Okay.
I can't think of anything, but
On
I
the
will
spot.
say that you've done well. You've been consistent, and I
Thank
just
you.
want to honor that. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this when we came, and you've actually executed and you've been consistent.
I've been
So,
trying.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
trying.
yeah, I'm so proud of you and
Thank you.
for doing this, what you want to, as something that you love to do. So just want to honor that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for joining me. I really do appreciate you. I really as well just honor you. And yeah, I just pray that God, just continues to do the amazing things that He is doing in your life. And yeah, what's that thing that I wanted to say? Yeah, thank you for actually doing this. I remember the time when I asked you to do this.
Like,
You're
no.
like,
No, I have nothing to say.
I have nothing to say. I was like, no, and then you were actually just like, well, maybe if we just, did as a conversation as we usually do. And then, yeah, you actually stepped up and actually pulled through and came. So
Yeah,
appreciate
I'm
it.
glad I was here.
All right, lovely people. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know you definitely did enjoy this episode. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and I really do appreciate it. Hoping that you're looking forward to the next episode. So as usual, keep loving whilst living.